this is another properties of binary operations. I've talked about the inverse under binary operations. I've talked about the identity under binary operations. I will advise you to watch. But this is another property of binary operations. We call it distributive property. Distributive property. Now let's take a short note under it. Now, these are another, like I said earlier, that these are another properties under the binary operations. Like we have many properties under the binary operation. We have the closure properties, we have the associative properties, we have the commutative properties, we have the distributive properties, we have the inverse, and we have the identity. Now, we want to talk about the distributive properties. Now, let's check through these informations under the distributive properties for the clarity. The let set X is closed under the operations. Is closed under the operations. You know, in our coming videos, I'm going to explain what I mean by closed. It's closed under the operations asterisks, and this sign in mathematics it means for all. It's closed under the operation asterisk and for all. Now, in my short, under my short, we are going to watch all the mathematical symbols and their meaning. So just in my short, this thing is asterisk and for all. Now, if for all ABC element of X, now it's defined on this. Now, if you look at this thing, for you to have distributive, that means under distributive, that binary operation is going to be defined with two symbols. Now, look at this, asterisk and for all. That means once you see something like that in binary operations, having two symbols, asterisk and for all, or any two symbols, majorly. So that shows that, or that should tell you that this is distributive. Because one is going to be distributive over the other. But all other the binary operations properties, is it commutative, is it associative, is it identity, is it inverse, all of them are having one. They will come with one symbol. But when you see distributive, it's going to come with the two symbols, like you see here. And when you see it like this, A asterisk, open bracket, B for all, C. Now, when they say it is distributive, that means this one asterisk is distributive over this and this. How will you write A asterisk B, close the bracket, as you can see there, A asterisk B for all, open another bracket, A asterisk C. So that means this one is distributive over the B and also distributive over the C. And this one is going to be at the center. So that is what I actually put there. So what does it mean? That means then the operation asterisk is said to be left. It's said to be left distributive over the operation this for all, over the operation for all. That means asterisk, it is distributive over the operation for all. Left, because as you can see, it comes from the left. Are you getting now? So over the operation for all. Why? If, and for this thing to be distributive, I can also bring it in form of right. That means I can also write it like this. B for all, C asterisk A. That means I bring this one to this side and bring this one back to the left. So if I have it like that, like I said, B, open bracket, B for all, C asterisk A. Now for this thing to be distributive, that means B asterisk A for all, C asterisk A. As you can see, this one is going to be distributive over this and distributive over this. So that's what you see here. So the operation of asterisk is said to be right, it's coming from the right. It's said to be right distributive over the operation for all. So that is the logic of the distributive property. Now let's take a look at like one examples under the distributive property.
Yeah.
Now, let's take this example under distributive property. Example says the operation asterisk and that symbol are defined circle. Operation asterisk and circle are defined on the set n of natural numbers by, now you need to pick out those things that are defined there by a asterisk b, a asterisk b equals to ab. You know that for all a, b, those are the elements of natural numbers, and this a circle b equals to a all over b, a all over b. For all a members a, b, all are the elements of n. A, do not ask us that does asterisk distributive over circle? Does asterisk distributive over circle? That means you are going to write something like this: a asterisk open bracket b circle c. We actually want to know whether it is distributive over this. Now, in the first place, the first thing to do is that a does. Now, what is b? If anytime you see something like this, circle, so it's going to give you something like this, as you can see. That is division. That means this will give me b all over c. This one you know. Will give me all over c. Now, because you know that when you see something like this, asterisk, it comes in form of multiplication. So this one comes in form of division. Now, a times that is ab all over c. Now, for me now to know that maybe this trio, it is distributive over the other, let us now follow the formula I gave you the last time. That means a after b circle open bracket a after c. Are you getting it? That means this one is distributive over this, also distributive over this. Now, like I told you, whenever it comes in form of asterisk, you see what it will give us. Don't forget our definition of it. When it comes in form of asterisk, it gives us in form of multiplication. That means a asterisk, that is a b circle. Now, ac asterisk gives us ac. Now, we all know that anytime we see this circle, what it gives us, it gives us a form of division. That means this one is going to give us ab all over ac. Now, a comes to a, we have b all over c. Now, let's check whether this thing is distributive over the another. The first one gives us a b all over c. The second gives us b all over c. They are not the same. They are not the same. That shows that asterisk is not distributive over. So anytime you are asked to check, although we are going to do this, okay, let us do this. No one will do this because it says does circle distributive over asterisk. Does circle distributive over asterisk. Does circle distributive over this. That means just write it a circle open your bracket b asterisk c. You want to check whether it's distributive over it. That means, now like I told you, when you have b asterisk c, what will it give you? Some asterisk will give you like that is bc circle a. And this one will give me in form of division. But this one gives us in form of division. That is a all over b. Now, let us now check the distributive part. A is going to be distributive over this. That is circle b in bracket. Asterisk is going to be distributive over this. A circle c. Now, you know, whenever you see in form of circle, it will come in form of division. That means a all over b asterisk is also come in form of division. A all over c. That means a times a square all over bc. A square all over bc. Is there anything that is divided? No. Nothing can be divided. And don't forget, here we have A all over BC. This one is A all over BC. This one gives us what? A squared all over BC. They are not. So that means it is not distributive over the aesthetic because it has to give us the same